Hello, welcome back to Cracking the Cryptic and a fascinating puzzle with variable cages today. This is by MP Claw, who has said that they've been following the channel for a while and they love the Sudoku so much they've started setting, and this has proved popular. So we're going to give it a try. It's, as I say, called Hot and Cold. We'll get to that in a moment. Now, in case in fact, this is not just to Patreons, but in case you were unaware, the 600,000 document got a new puzzle a couple of days ago. Not the juggler, which was there before, maybe 3 days ago, but a puzzle by Florian Wertmann, who has been a long-time contributor to the channel and had sent this to us in plenty of time. And I'd lost it somehow, but it's in the document now. So go back to our Patreon document. You don't need to be a Patreon to look at this one. It's totally free. In the 600k celebration pack, there's a new puzzle by Florian Wertmann, and that pack is great. It's always worth re-downloading it because there were a few little updates to other puzzles too. That was a while ago though. Anyway, also on Patreon, loads going on as always. No, I do want to mention what is not going on. There is no new connections video coming for this week. So if you're waiting for that, sorry. I got caught a bit and was unable to record it for a couple of days. And in fact, that followed a failure, which was very embarrassing. So I may put that on hiatus for a while. Let me know what you think of that. Now, but do join us on Patreon because there is always content. The paid subscribers get the puzzle hunts every month. We've got a new one by Pause coming up in a few days' time. And there is loads of other traffic on the channel on Patreon that is well worth dipping into. And we have great pleasure in bringing it all to you. Now, what else is going on? We've got all our apps, which include Thermo Sudoku and Killer Sudoku and Domino Sudoku, all relevant today, but all only slightly relevant because none of those rules applies as normal in this puzzle. So I will also mention Sven SUDOKU PAD and our merchandise. Get yourself a Knowledge Bomb water bottle. It's not a hot water bottle, it's just a water bottle. And on the other side, Cracking the Cryptic. And that will show people where your allegiances lie most successfully, as it will if you subscribe to the channel. Anyway, let's have a look at Hot and Cold by MP Claw. And the rules are very straightforward. They're not very straightforward, sorry. What I mean is they are interesting, they need to be listened to. Normal Sudoku rules apply, 1 to 9 in every row, every column, and every 3 by 3 box. That part is straightforward. But then after that, cages are either hot or cold. Hot cages contain positive values and cold cages contain negative values. So you take the digit that's in the cage, and if it's a hot cage, it's a positive value, that digit. And if it's a cold cage, it might be -5. Digits may repeat in a cage. That's unusual and may throw me. It's up to the solver to determine if a cage is hot or cold. Now, along a thermometer, values increase from the bulb. I did not say digits, I said values. So you might start with a minus number and then go to a positive number later on the thermometer. Cells separated by a V must sum to either +5 or -5, and cells separated by an X either to +10 or -10, which is a fabulous rule. Not all X's and V's are necessarily given, and those are the rules. I mean, it's just a weird twist on each of Thermo, Killer, and Domino Sudoku, but give it a try on that link under the video. I am going to start now. Let's get cracking. The length of this, is this the longest Thermo? 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now, if we knew that was all hot, I could pencil mark 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, 4, etc. But we don't. I mean, 8 is not long enough that it couldn't all be cold as well, starting from -9 or -8. This one is 7 cells long, and this one only 6, so they're not that wonderful. Right, this cage obviously has only one what should we call it? Positivity. It's either positive or negative, hot or cold. One temperature. I suppose MP Claw has made it very clear that it is the temperature of the cage that we're looking at. So that means that these must be the digits 1, 2, 3, 4, because they must have the same value. Now, of course, look at this weird conformation. You couldn't have this in a normal puzzle. And that means, I don't know whether this cage is hot or cold, so I'm going to colour it a neutral colour, which is green. But this one must be different, because otherwise that digit would have to be the same as that digit in adding up to 5 with this one. So this is the other colour. Let's make that light blue. No, I want to use a blue for cold. Let's make it yellow, another neutral colour. Ah, okay, and that means that this V is a... Yes, this is great. That means that this V is a difference V in a way. You're taking either a positive or negative value there and effectively either subtracting that from this one, or in fact this way round, you are subtracting this value from that one to get to 5. And that still doesn't tell us which of these is hot or cold, because the V can add up to +5 or -5. However, I think this thermo does now tell us that this is not hot. If this was hot, there isn't room to put higher digits further up the thermo. So this is cold. Yellow is now cold. Green is now hot, because it had to be different, remember. This digit is definitely hot. You couldn't subtract another digit from this or this from another digit and get to 10. So that's hot and is a high digit, 6, 7, 8 or 9. Now, going on here, just as a high hot digit is very restrictive on the bulb, a low cold digit is not very restrictive. These are in the same cage, so they're from 1, 2, 3, 4. That's now a quadruple, so everything else in the column is 5, 6, 7, 8 or 9. This cannot be a 5. Oh, and there we go. We've got to connect those up and they're both cold. So bingo, 9, 8, 7, 6. There are our first 5 digits in the puzzle, because this is still cold, so that's a 5. And then these have to be hot because they're from 7, 8, 9 now by Sudoku. And that is 7 or 8, and the top one is 8 or 9. And this whole cage is hot. And I think the thing we learnt from X here is that the two sides of an X cell are always the same colour. Is that right? Yeah, it is. It is right. Because if you had +1 and minus the other, you're never going to get to 10 with two ordinary Sudoku digits. So that cage is hot. And now we're in business on this. We can goodliff away on this thermo. 3 or 4, 4 or 5, 5 or 6, 6 or 7. I'm going to carry on because the next cage has to be hot as well. And now this V, this must be cold because 8 or 9 can't add to another hot digit here to make V. So it subtracts either 3 or 4 on the cold side. This is very clever. Oh, 6 is looking across at that. So that's a 7, that's an 8, that's a 9. Now we know that's 4. This isn't 4, that's not 1. That's not 5. The given digits we got were very helpful, but then that 6 stops being helpful. It doesn't sort the rest of the line. But this is good progress. This can't be a 9, and therefore that's not a 1, and that's not a 4. This one is not 5 or 6. It's not 9 either. That is 7 or 8. And in fact, there's a 7-8 pair on this thermo, but we don't know which way round they go because we don't know if it's hot or cold. That's hilarious. I mean, the puzzle is mad. This is a 5-6 pair by Sudoku. These are 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, what next? We've really tackled 3 long is it 3 long thermos? No, 2 long thermos already. Oh, this V. Well, there's only one way to do that. surely that has to be a 1 and it's hot. Then cold 6, so -6 plus 1 is -5. And then this whole cage is hot. But of course we can have a repeat 1. That's very hard for me to get used to. Now, what does that tell us here? I don't know. This could be hot and a sum, or cold and a deduction, I think. Ah, we got that 1, and that has made this a 2-3 pair, and that's a 4 actually by Sudoku now. This is a 5-9 pair. That 2-3 pair looks down here. This is a 1-4 pair. That's a 2-3 pair. This can't be 6 anymore. That's a 7-8 pair of digits in the column. I don't know what the value is. Well, I know what the value of that is. No, I know that the value of that is hot. I don't know what the number is. There's a 9 in one of those cells by Sudoku. Now, has this got any clearer? Ooh, nearly. So, yeah, okay, this is quite interesting. If this is hot, we're adding these together. And they would have to be a 2-3 or a 1-4 pair, but they can't be 2-3 because it would break that cell. So if these are hot, it's a 4-1 pair. But if this is cold, these have a difference of 5 then, but they see a 9, an 8 and a 7. They would then have to be 1-6 in some order. So this is either 1-4 or 1-6 and definitely includes a 1. But it doesn't tell us which way round it goes and whether this digit is hot or cold, I don't believe. I'm going to have to start looking at this in a moment. Ah, no, hang on. Here's a lovely point. Right, this is not 2 digits of the same colour or the same temperature, because then it would be a 2-3 pair which would break that cell, or a 1-4 pair which would break that cell. So these are different. So I'm going to go back to green and yellow. I don't know which they are, but these two cages are different now. And this is a pair that has a difference of 5. The only way that this is the higher digit is if it's a 9. Oh, there might be something going on around this corner. You've got 7 there, would have a 3 and a 2. If that was the case, that would eliminate 7 and 2. I was wondering if that was going to eliminate all of 2, 3, 7, 8 from here, because that would be really interesting, but I don't think it does. Worth a check, though. Okay, I'm going to have to look at this. I keep putting it off. I don't know what to do with it. Oh, maybe I do. Oh, hang on first. Look, 9 is looking at that cell. That's not very exciting. It looks like it just disambiguates a pair, but it does much more than that. Because look at this 8, 9, 7, looking at this tip. If that was hot, the most this can be anyway, the biggest value this can have is hot 6. So for this to be a hot cage, this thermo would have to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And you can see how that doesn't work. 5 would clash with 5. So yellow is not hot, yellow is cold. And now we know that green is therefore hot. And we can determine which way round this is the normal way round, 7, 8. And that becomes a 7. And these cells are a 4, 6, 8 triple, which probably doesn't help at the moment at all, but nonetheless, it's true. Now, this is cold, so what are we starting with? Well, not 8, 7 or 6. I'm going to probably have to work out what temperature this cage is. I don't know, actually. This is a pair. Where do 8 and 7 go in the box? They go into these cells. If this began with 9, it's not very restrictive. If it didn't, maybe that's the interesting thing. if this didn't begin with 9, the lowest value it could have is -5. That would be -3. Oh, hang on, this 4 is looking up north. I hadn't seen that. Oh, this could make quite a difference. That 2 and 1. Now, this cell, just as a digit, it's 1, 2, 6, 7, or 8. So if this wasn't 9, if this was 5 or 4 or something like that, this would have to be 2 or 1, and this would have to be a hot gauge. And we can't go higher than 6 here. Can we now determine, no, that this can't be cold? If this was cold, it could end in 2, 3, or rather 3, 2 as we head up the thermo, as it were. Yeah, no, that looks possible at the moment. What about this X? I don't know, nothing. 2, 3 are looking at the corner. That's a 1. Let's do some Sudoku, always worth doing. There's a 1 in one of these cells. And that's an X-wing with the 1 in one of these, and means there is a 1 in one of these cells. Well, it's not here, because that would be a cold 1, but this is a higher value, and yet it's cold. So, if that's a cold 1, this is a hot 6. If that's a cold 1, this is a cold... Can't be 4, because 4 would be a hot digit, so it would be a cold 6. Didn't I just say something else would be a 6? Right, one of these 2 digits is a 6. That's strange. Oh, there's Sudoku. There's more Sudoku. There's a 4 in one of these cells. And I mean, it's quite likely to be in this 1-4 pair, but it doesn't have to be. But there's a 1 that's ruled out of all of those. So there's a definite 1 somewhere there. Oh, and look, I've got an X-wing on 1s down here, and now I've got effectively 5 1s pointing into the box, or 4 1s pointing into the box, and that is the only place for 1 in the bottom row. That's so strange. Does it do anything? These can't be 6s. So one of these 2 is a 6. If it was there, this is going to have to be a 9. Oh, we're closing in here, but it's tricky. You have to watch so many things in this puzzle. 4, 6. There's a 6 somewhere here. 1, 2, 3, 5. There's also a 6 in one of those cells. That's just ordinary Sudoku. Does this have to be hot? If not, I don't know. I thought that might yield an answer, but not to me. 3, 5, 4, 9, 1. Let's keep looking up and down column 3, because there are some interesting restrictions. This is 2, 6, 7, or 8. I can't do much about the panoply of options there. One of these 2 is a 7 by Sudoku, and it's not... I was going to say it's not here. I think that's right, because it couldn't be a hot 7 there, or you couldn't fill that. If it was a cold 7, you couldn't fill these. So that's not a 7. This is a 7, and that places 1 in the box. And that doesn't... I could have placed that before, because I knew one of those was 1, so it doesn't do anything. Teeth, the sound of teeth grinding. But this digit is 2, 3, 5, or 6. Now, could it be cold? If that was a cold 2 with a cold 3, 4, 5, yes, 6, 7, or 8. It could be, but could it be hot? Well, it couldn't be a hot 2, because you couldn't put a hot 1 there. 1, 4, 7, 9. There is a 6 in one of these 2 cells. Now we get interesting. Can that be a cold 6? This would be 5 or 4. That would be 4 or 3. This would be 2. But no, this can't be a cold 1 anymore. In fact, I'm going the wrong way round. I'm going the wrong way round, am I? In cold digits? Yes, I was ascending. Right, my question is, and I was answering it wrongly, can one of these be a 6? Well, one of these is a 6. Can it be cold? The simple answer is no, because you can only have 7, 8, and 9 higher than that in cold cells there. So this is now a hot cage. Done. And can 6 be here? I think the answer is no, because that can't be 7, 8, or 9. It is. So 6 is here. These are from 2, 3, and 5. This is not a 5, not 1 or 4. It is 2 or 3. And now this can't be a hot cage because you can't put 2 there and 1 there. So this is a cold cage, and that is quite interesting. This is now not a 2. And this has to be a 9 because it's bigger than 6, 7, or 8 as a digit, and it can't be 8, 7, or 6. So that's a 9. Then we are going down, but not to 1. I am going to pencil mark this as cumbersome as that may be. 2, 3, 4, 5 there. 3, 4, 5, 6 here. This clearly can't be a 7 because of that. And it has to stay lower than this. Now, this, I was going to say can't be a 6 now, but we know there's a 6 in one of those positions, so this isn't a 6. In fact, that 6 told us where 6 was in box 1. And I just didn't notice it telling me that. That digit is going to have to go in the top corner. 9 is going to be in one of these 2 cells. And one of these 2, strongly suggesting this is a 9, 1x. In fact, it now can't, well, for ages it can't be 6, 4. Okay, no, forget that. There's a 5 in one of these 2. 6, 7, 8. This is, come on, it's all happening down here. This can't be 9, 4 now. In fact, this has to be the low digit of these 2 digits, which have a difference of 5, because it sees now 9, 8, 7, and 6. So that is 1, 2, 3, or 4, and this is the high digit, 6, 7, 8, 9. We're not allowed to use the no repeats in a cage rule because it is not the case. And that hasn't really, let's have a look at this row. Can we actually sort it out somehow? I don't know, that has to be lower than this, so that's not 5 anymore. Well, can this really be 4? That would be a 5. What else would happen? Oh yes, sorry, I worked out this couldn't be 9 and 4. I thought there was another thing it couldn't be. Maybe not. Maybe that is the only one. I still haven't looked at this thermo at all. I don't know, it doesn't look very welcoming to me. Let's just do some ordinary Sudoku marking. 9, 8, 7, 6, 1, 5, 2, 3, or 4 there. This one. No, maybe this one first. Can't be a 1. 9, 8, 7, 6, 1, 5. That is 2, 3, or 4. Okay, what is this? This is 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5. I'm going to allow it to be all of those. But 5 is its maximum value. Can this be hot anymore? If that was hot, it's at least a 1. Then you'd have at least a 2 here. Then you'd have a 2, 3, 4 triple in the row with a 1 there and a 5 here. And it does look like that keeps working. Just need to find one more Sudoku-y thing, I think. What is it though? Oh, 6 and 6, that's a 6. That's not the Sudoku thing I need to find. That's not going to do anything. 1, 6, 5, 7. This just hasn't changed its nature, this X at all. I think it kind of did its good work for us by just making this cage hot quite early on. 1978. I mean, we're so nearly there. Oh, look, 9 minus that. It's been sitting there forever. You've been shouting it at me. I didn't hear you because I'm cloth-eared today. And that is the 1 in the column. And that digit cannot be hot because that would be hot as well. So this is a cold cage. And now, sorry about that. And now this one is 2, 3 or 5, and this is 4 or 6. But there was a 1 on this V and it goes there. I still haven't learned what this 1 cell cage is. Never mind, we've got a 1 there. No, not a 1 here. 1 there and there. This is a 1 and that's on the X. That does give me the 9, as I expected. That 9 puts a 9 here. 7, 8, 9, 1. This is 2, 3 or 5 because it can't be 4 or 6. And this is now a 4, 6 pair. And I know that's a 4 and that's a 6. And this is now a difference. So that's cold, which I knew anyway. Actually, I could have filled in that that was cold. It hasn't changed this digit though, but there's 2, 3, 5 triple there. So everything else in the column is 4, 7 and 8. This one down here is a naked 4. That's 7 or 8. That's a 7, 8 pair. There's a 4 in one of these. Oh, that's not a 4. So there's a 2, 3 pair in this row, and that's a 5. And they're not, and that is a 5. That's, yeah, we know that 2, 3 pair. There's another 5 in column 4. That's not a 4, so that's a 2, 3 pair. This is 4 or 8. These haven't been done. I don't think I can resolve which order those are in. Might be able to if that turned out to be a 3. Oh, look, that's not going to turn out to be a 3. There's a 2, 3 pair in this column. So that is 4 or 5. Now, why is this not resolved? Because I don't know what this is the main reason. 1, 5, 9, 4. This is a pair that have a difference of 7, of 5. So that's also a pair that has a difference of 5, the counterpart pair. 4 is definitely in one of these cells. This must be done. Must be very done. How is this? I mean, all of these cells, they're basically going to obey the thermo when they get resolved from the candidate pencil marks now. I have nothing left to do with them. I've got a 2, 3, 6 triple R in those cells, but this one sees a 2, 3 pair in the row, so that's the 6. That's going to do it, actually. We get a 5 there, 6 there. This is now not a 6, and the 6 that we had pencil marked in column 3 is now here. This is 8, that's all it can be in the row. That's 7, and the X and V sort out the other digits there, and the V sorts out the ones in box 8. And we can do 5 and 3 based on the 2, 5 pair looking up above. This is a 7, that's a 2 now, that's a 3. This is a 9. 4, 8, 7, that's a naked 8. That's 5, that's 2, that sorts out the 3, 2 pairs that were resolved in row 6 if I'd looked there anyway. This is now a 2, and that takes us to the right-hand side, 3 and 2. This is a naked, well, an I-wing 7, easier even than a naked digit. That's a 3. This is an I-wing 9. In the top, in the first column, oh, that's a 4, and this is 7, and that's 8. And 4 8s to finish. There we go. What a lovely, clever puzzle that is. Great fun in the hot and cold cages. I think there's legs in that idea. It's a very nice idea and very well implemented by MP Claw. Great fun with that puzzle, and absolute pleasure to bring it to you. Congratulations on your debut, MP Claw, and thank you for watching. Hope to see you again soon on the channel. Bye for now.